This is actually one of those things I could have had patented. Hello and welcome to Sisyphus Crane and Rigging. I'm Mr. Bix and we're working on the coin mechanism, the invention of it, and the coin slot, and how all that comes together. This is a visual activation mechanism, if you will, of your money working for you. The coin itself presses a switch that turns the show on, after which the machine automatically removes the quarter and turns itself off, ending the show. It's a unique system that I invented in 1978. And I should have had patent pending on it, like Wallace from Wallace and Gromit would say. But since a patent can run thousands of dollars, and I don't have, like a parade of inventors. I don't have investors either. I don't have a parade of inventors knocking it off for their vending machines, so I don't think I'm losing out by not having a patent. This wheel is the new disc. I described it in my last video, but it rotates in a vertical way compared to the other one, which was horizontal in relation to the quarter. So you can see the quarter sitting there, and you can see those pins right here and here, and how they are going to come up and push that quarter out. The disc, by the way, I designed it so that it's got some visual interest. I don't really want blue windows through there, but some kind of color. I think sort of a smoky plexiglass or something like that would look good. And the windows will have, LEDs behind them. I'm not sure if I want to put LEDs on the surface in these little pockets, but the idea was to give this thing a visually interesting look. Anyway, back to the quarter and the pins. So there are two pins that will be inserted into that, and it will rotate up and hopefully strike the bottom of the quarter right here first, lifting it out. In a moment, I'm going to try a little animation of that. Meanwhile, the second pin will come up and push on the back of the quarter, pushing it out. That second pin also, rotate it around here, theoretically will ride on top of this surface, which is a part of the coin holding element. You can see how the coin is held down in there. Should drop down in place somewhere like that between two holding pins. Now I'm inserting a piece of video here to clarify that. I show how the quarter rolls down the ramp, hits the stop pin, drops through the slot in the ramp, and it will fall down into the coin trapeze and rest on the two pins that are spaced far enough apart that they'll stop a quarter. And that's how it sits on those two pins and pushes the trapeze down, switching the switch that turns the whole thing on. The pins are spaced so that any other smaller coins that come down the ramp will go right through. This is a model of a nickel, scaled as close as I can to exact size, and you can see it's going to fit right between the two pins, falling through without ever turning on anything, into the basket below, never to be returned to any customer. If you put a smaller coin in, you lose it. It's kind of like a side benefit of a mine. Out here they have a Kennecott copper mine, and they mine copper, and they get a lot of gold too. Almost enough to pay for the mine, but mainly the product is copper. While at the same time, the upper pin is in close proximity. It's very close to this curved piece, which keeps the switch from being released early. In other words, without a quarter in, once these pins are in place, once they're in the position to knock the quarter out, this cannot raise up any higher. It would strike that pin. So this curved piece provides sort of a hold down, and it'll continue rotating through, lifting the quarter up and out. It'd be behind that, but now you get the idea. And once it passes the edge of this hold down piece, the trapeze will raise back up to its ready position for another quarter. In the first Kineticon, the coin handler was about in the middle of the raised platform, which I'm going to go with on this one. And it's right in front of a new element that I'm putting in, the Collegiate Santa Maria Maddalena Church in Atrani, on the beautiful coast of Amalfi in Italy. It's right below the town of Ravello. He woonde daar Maurits Cornelis Escher, and he included it in several of his pictures. All right, I've mocked this up well enough to work. The quarter rolls in, turns on the machine. This will be on a disc, of course, and it's just a bar right now. Lifts the quarter out, drops it down the hole, which I haven't even made a hole yet, and stops. It'll stop right about there. And when a quarter goes in, this drives all the way around. The pins have to come all the way around, one full revolution, coming up under here like this, and knock the quarter out. Stopping right about there. So it's great talking about the money and how this thing works, but obviously I don't have a huge goal of making lots and lots of money on quarters again. This Kineticon is more the art project. However, it's important to note that if you don't have a coin slot on it, some filter for stopping people from playing it endlessly, it'll get worn right out in the first week. And I know this because I used to work at a place where we had a vending machine. It was a kiddie ride, one of those little horsey rides, had 3 horses. It was only about something you could fit in a small room. And it came with the mall that I was working in Trolley Square here in Salt Lake City. And we got it set up. They said, let's get that running. It'll be fun for the kids. We got it set up and put a button on it. And boy, I'll tell you, the little kids would come and go, and they would see it, and they would play it, and they would wear it right out. And the mall rats were hanging out in the mall all day. They would really run it all day long, to the point where it was broken within the first week. So what we did was we got a coin slot, a quarter box for it. And we put the quarter box on the wall, and guess what? It was broken in another week, or so we thought. We go and open up the quarter box, and it was one of those types where they just kind of fall inside there. And we opened it, the quarters spilled out all over the floor. There were coins everywhere. And so, yeah, so you need that sort of filter to stop people from playing it to death. And they've got to come up with quarters. And anyway, if they do want to play it to death, well, you get the profit. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. And we'll see you again next week. And, goodbye. Thanks for watching. See ya.